It's always a pleasure to have you here again on Gist Nigeria from the BBC and Channels Television. Here we track stories on social media in the news and dissect them. I am Wali Fakile. Let's kick off with our top story. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has approved the use of Oxford malaria vaccine for children, making Nigeria the second African country to approve the vaccine. The agency says the vaccine is approved to prevent malaria in children from 5 months to 36 months old. The World Health Organization says Nigeria accounts for 27% of global cases of malaria and 32% of global deaths. In this report, Gist Nigeria's Zina Bala tells us how the approved vaccine will likely enhance the treatment of malaria, its rollout plans, and how government will tackle vaccine hesitancy. Our report is coming on the heels of World Malaria Day with stakeholders determined to deliver zero malaria.
Nigeria has given the green light to R21 Matrix M, the malaria vaccine made by the University of Oxford in the UK, joining Ghana as the second African country to do so. This is a big deal, as scientists are hailing it as a potential game changer in the ongoing fight against malaria, which remains a killer disease, especially among children under the age of 5.
About 6 directorates with varied disciplines were involved in the review of this vaccine.
The World Health Organization says the mosquito-borne disease is believed to kill over 600,000 people each year. The agency's malaria report lists Nigeria as the world's most impacted country, accounting for 32% of global cases. Malaria is prevalent in Sokoto State, which accounts for about 47% of cases in northern Nigeria. 5-year-old Muhammad is brought in sick with malaria to Er Akija Primary Healthcare Center. His mother, Hannatu, is worried.
Ko da na halka na tashi da daddare na in bashi ruwa ya sha, sai na ji jikin shi duk ya gashi da zazzabi. Na bashi ruwa ya sha, sai na dauka ni watsa mai ruwa, sai ce mini ciki ne ka ciwo da kai ne, ƙafafu ne duk suna ciwo. To can ya koma kwanta sai na ga yana ta convulsion din nan.
Other mothers here tell Gist Nigeria what they think of the provisionally approved vaccine.
Gaskiya shirye muke, za mu iya ba su a mata saboda zai taimaka mata.
Saboda ingantar rayuwar yarinyata. Saboda aido abin da kaga an kawo na ci gaba na.
Sabuwa yara na allurar rigakafi kuma na san muhimmancinta.
It looks like business as usual in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital in northeast Nigeria. But the state is also leading with about 10% malaria infection rate. There is some hesitation and skepticism about vaccines here. However, some mothers agree that it is necessary to protect their children from malaria.
In yara sun yi rashin lafiya a cikin muna cikin wannan yara sun yi rashin lafiya ba mu da kuɗin da za mu ɗauka mu kai su asibiti. Saboda haka shi yasa za mu ba da karfi mu kai a yi mana wannan allura na malaria din ma yara.
Za mu ɗauka in an kawo za mu ɗauka karɓa. Na COVID-19 ma muka karɓa ya wuce. Shi ma an kawo za mu ka karɓa.
Gist Nigeria also visited Abeokuta, southwestern Nigeria's Ogun State capital. The statistics here are alarming and shows the urgency with which the newly approved vaccine needs to be rolled out. The state accounts for 50% of malaria in southern Nigeria. What do mothers here think about the R21 Matrix M malaria vaccine?
Since it's good for them and it will not harm them, I will allow them to take it. I can allow my children. Since it will not harm them, I will allow them.
The first malaria vaccine, Mosquirix, from British drug maker GSK was endorsed by the World Health Organization in 2022 after decades of work. But a lack of funding and commercial potential is thwarting GSK's capacity to produce as many doses as needed, demonstrating the need for a new vaccine. The University of Oxford says its R21 matrix M malaria vaccine has demonstrated high efficacy and safety among children who received a booster dose 1 year after the primary 3-dose regime. The R21 matrix M vaccine has undergone clinical trials in the UK, Thailand, and several African countries, including an ongoing phase 3 trial in Burkina Faso, Kenya, Mali, and Tanzania that has enrolled 4,800 children. Results from these trials are expected to be reported later this year. 200 million doses are to be produced annually. Oxford researchers say the low-dose vaccine can be manufactured at a low cost and in large quantities, making it possible to supply hundreds of millions of doses to African countries with a high burden of malaria.
When you look at it, the efficacy and the results that is coming out from the stage 3 trials, clinical trials, is encouraging, and that's why many countries, WHO, they are encouraged and they want to give it a shot.
Nigeria's Primary Healthcare Development Agency is responsible for distribution of vaccines across the country. What are the likely rollout plans?
The brief on the approval of the R21 malaria vaccine has been communicated to the Honorable Minister of Health and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency for appropriate action toward immunization in the respective population at the right time.
We have partners who have always been there to support. And we also have a robust system. And that's one of our pride, that's one of our strengths. The agency that coordinates vaccines, get vaccines around in the country, they are seasoned people, so they know what to do, and I don't think the logistic will really be a problem.
It is estimated that malaria treatment costs Nigeria's economy more than 506 billion naira. That's about $1.1 billion each year.
The funding is already becoming a problem, all over the world when we consider the challenges that we are having. But there is still commitment to malaria. And I think with the support of government, the NGOs, the private sector, we should be able to handle that.
The World Health Organization says vaccine hesitancy is a challenge for countries seeking to close the immunization gaps. How does Nigeria intend to close this gap?
We have our plans, already existing plans that we have towards reaching out to the specific target population in the community, where we are using the RI routine immunization schedule, where in the hospitals, host communities, outreaches, like we did it in COVID-19.
As health authorities in Nigeria plan to roll out the newly approved malaria vaccine across the country, experts are positive that children under 5 can now look forward to a future free from the killer disease. Zainab Bala, GIST Nigeria.
Well, hopefully this vaccine will reduce child mortality in Nigeria. Tweet us at GIST Nigeria TV. We would like to hear from you about this development.